This is it? Let me give you one piece of advice. Be honest. He knows more than you can imagine.
At last. Welcome, Neo. As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus.
It's an honor to meet you.
No. The honor is mine. Please, come, sit. I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole? Hmm?
You could say that.
I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate, Neo?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Follow me. Hey, Pac, are we online?
Almost.
Time is always against us. Please, take a seat there.
A court is a place where games are played. We're about to get into that, right? Because they playing games with us in this court, right? You want to know about jurisdiction, right? What is jurisdiction? Jurisdiction is the official power to make legal decisions and judgments. Understand that. When under defense, Challenging jurisdiction is one of the best defenses you can make, because if you use the right arguments, it is almost impossible to lose. Understand that. Jurisdiction can be challenged at any time and motion to dismiss. A court cannot render a judgment which transcends the limit of its authority, and judgment is void if it's beyond the power granted to the court by law of the organization, even where the court has jurisdiction over the party and the subject matter. If they attempt to tell you that you can't challenge their jurisdiction, you can easily shut them up with these court rulings. Once jurisdiction is challenged, the court cannot proceed when it clearly appears that the court lacks jurisdiction. The court has no authority to reach merit, but rather should dismiss the action. Mello versus U.S. 505 F2D 1026. The law requires proof of jurisdiction to appear on the record of the administrating agency in all administrative procedures. Hagen versus Levine 415 U.S. 533.
Bottom line is, this court has failed to prove jurisdiction and has avoided the issue of jurisdiction at all costs. And nobody in here has the status. All right? Nobody has proven status, and nobody in here has the authority to proceed. Now, the last hearing we discussed, you stated that
Could you please stop yelling at me?
This matter, you stated, ma'am, for the record, you stated that this matter was relative to jurisdiction, not Mr. Keesler's position here and not anything else. You stated that you were giving the prosecution a chance to prove jurisdiction, and he's not even the assigned prosecutor to the case, but obviously he's remaining silent, and he has nothing to state. So I move that this case be dismissed.
But the court rules set out the procedure that you must follow.
Objection, ma'am. I'm not a party to society. I'm not subject to your courtroom rules, and you have not proven jurisdiction.
And I will never address the issue of jurisdiction until and unless the appropriate application is made before the court, because filing either an affidavit that's notarized or an affidavit that's not notarized does not bring it before the attention of this court.
Objection. There is no discretion to ignore the lack of jurisdiction. Joyce versus United States. Jurisdiction is fundamental, and a judgment rendered by a court that does not have jurisdiction in here is void ab initio, and that is application of Y300 P.132 versus caveat. Once jurisdiction is challenged, the court cannot proceed when it clearly appears the court lacks jurisdiction. The court has no authority to reach merits, but rather should dismiss the action. Melo versus United States 505 F2D. When jurisdiction is challenged, the party invoking jurisdiction has the burden of establishing. Basso versus U.S. Power Light Company. Courts enforcing their statutes do not act judicially, but merely ministerially. Thus, no judicial immunity, and unlike courts of law, do not attain jurisdiction by service of process, nor even arrest and compelled appearance. I'm here by way of threat, duress, coercion. I'm going to make that clear for the record every time I have to appear, if I have to appear. The only reason I'm appearing here is by way of your threat, duress, coercion, or your company's threat, duress, coercion.
They won't play with you, you play with them, but do it intelligently. In other words, make them identify the jurisdiction that they're claiming authority in before you allow them to proceed with you in any matter. If you do allow them to proceed without identifying the political jurisdiction to which they are lawfully attached and have delegation of authority order to operate in, then you've just waived your rights. All right, we clear on that? So from your protocols of liberty, when you're dealing with these aliens, you forget those processes in principle, and guess what they're getting ready to do? There you go. And they will go to the Poconos this summer. And they always do it. And we keep feeding it. It's Islam and him and then you, brother. Islam.
Yeah. Now, see, like, even when we're dealing with these organized criminals, you've been before the courts, I've been before the courts, dealing with them on different issues. It's like some of the newer people that may be going through the process, just going to court, seeing the sheriff with the guns, other people getting locked up, took out the courts. It's very intimidating for people.
It's intimidating, I'll tell you this. Now, so if a person does not have the courage to stand up for the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, to which these people took an oath and are bound, and you're not willing to stand up for it, then you don't deserve to be free.
Yeah,
Because that's a supreme coward.
No, that's right. You're right. But
No, and so what I'm saying to you,
exactly, I'm agreeing with you. I understand.
it needs to be said to them. This is the key. The key is that people who know, who have this information, need to present these arguments publicly so that people can take these things into consideration and consider their affairs. Because reflection is the business of man.
That's right.
It is their responsibility. And if you have this knowledge and don't give that to them to reflect upon, they get caught in their emotionalisms and are subject to the Christian black codes, which is what the problem is. Right. Is that have not been presented with a logical argument. Drew Ali brought the logical argument, but it's for those who know law.
Waiving your rights is a cowardly act, and you shall be treated as such. Most people in the court that don't have any knowledge of what's going on usually waive their rights. And when you waive your rights, they can do whatever they want to do to you, right? How do you waive your rights, you say, right? You waive your rights by ending a plea. You waive your rights by letting them proceed without challenging jurisdiction. You waive your rights by signing waivers and this and that. Right? Don't sign nothing. Don't consent to nothing. Right? This is how you deal with these people. Because the court is a place where games are played. We got to get that down now. A plea, in legal terms, a plea is simply an answer to a claim made by someone in a criminal case under common law using the adversity system. When a judge makes a decision for you, he's acting as your power of attorney. This means that the judge should not make a plea for you, but many people allow the judge to enter a plea for them. When did you appoint this judge as your power of attorney? You didn't give him power of attorney, did you? If you did give him power of attorney over you, it should be done in writing. A judge cannot practice law from the bench. When you allow a judge to enter a plea for you, he just became your power of attorney. That's against color of law. Never make a plea in a court that does not have jurisdiction over you or the subject matters. If you make a plea in a court that has no jurisdiction over you, you have just granted them jurisdiction by letting them enter a plea for you. Understand what a plea is. You must understand, that's key, what a plea is, right? Never make a plea for a court that got no jurisdiction over you.
Can I reserve all my rights prior to crossing the bench?
Say what?
I'd like to reserve all my rights prior to crossing the bench. Does anyone have any contestant to that?
Come on, I'll talk to the judge.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I could reserve all my rights prior to that. How you doing today?
Mr. Cooks, I've got 2 tickets to talk to you about. One of them is registration expired. How do you plead to that?
I do not wish to make any pleas at this time. I'd like to challenge the jurisdiction of the court.
Okay. Well, what I'll do, I'll satisfy your curiosity. I'll enter a not guilty and set you for a jury trial.
That would be Your Honor practicing law from the bench, which is not authorized.
May not be, but we'll find out. Okay?
All right.
You take these on over and see the prosecutor, develop your pretrial material.
All right, and I'd just like for the record that I object to the proceeding.
Take him over and let him contemplate these
Come
matters.
this way.
All right, thank you.
Have a seat. She'll call you down.
All right. And you are?
prosecutor for the state.
Okay.
All right, you've got a ticket for registration and insurance. Did you have insurance?
I didn't want to answer any questions.
Okay.
I just wanted to know if you had your delegation of authority or anything. I want to challenge the jurisdiction of the court.
You'll have to file a motion.
I'll have to file a motion to challenge the jurisdiction of the court?
Yes.
Okay. Would I do that here?
You would turn it into the court.
Okay. And is there anything else that you need with me at this time?
So have you pled not guilty to the judge? I assume that he had to put in a plea for you?
He actually exercised practicing law from the bench.
So he did put a not guilty verdict or not guilty for you? You making a request for evidence or discovery from the state today?
That's correct.
What are you requesting?
A delegation of authority.
That's not available. It's not discovery.
Well, it is discovery if I'm presumed innocent until proven guilty. One of the elements of the crime.
Discovery. It's not relevant to.
Well, one of the
your style.
elements of the crime is jurisdiction, so I'd have to be
Right,
presumed
but that's
guilty
not
of jurisdiction
discovery.
also.
The only discovery that we provide to you has to do with the elements of the
Crime,
stop,
correct.
the registration and the insurance. So is there any evidence that you want to request as far as the registration and the insurance is concerned?
How about an avertment of authority? Do you have that?
A what?
Avertment of authority? That's just saying that you received authority from a higher court to prosecute.
The authority is written in public law.
Okay, I would need to see that public law.
I'm going to put down that you're not requesting discovery because you haven't given me any items that you have requested.
Okay.
You'll need to sign a date right there.
And what am I signing and dating?
You're signing that you're requesting a trial and that you are not requesting any discovery that we can provide to you.
That's not correct. I actually asked for your delegation of authority.
That's not discovery.
Okay, then I don't really want to sign this.
So you're refusing
That's
to
correct.
proceed.
That's correct.
Okay. Do you want to send him back in front of the judge? Because we can't proceed without him signing this.
All right, come on back
Oh,
in.
here you go.
Pardon.
Yeah. Go have a seat.
The clerk's at the front window, we'll complete the payment and process. Is that okay?
Just grab a seat somewhere.
Did you have insurance when the officer stopped you? Do you now?
Have a seat, it might be a while.
I'm okay, Stan.
Okay, okay. If you don't want to sit down, why don't you help him get out to the recreation area there?
I'm in the way of someone.
Sit, or you'll be escorted out. Judges don't allow people standing in the courtroom.
Okay. come back outside.
Do you realize that the issue of jurisdiction is a pretrial matter that needs to be decided before trial? Once you go forward with your trial, the issue of jurisdiction is not to be brought up.
It is my understanding that the issue of jurisdiction can be brought up at any time during the court proceeding.
It needs to be determined prior to going to trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Take that to the clerk window out there and they'll set your court date.
All right. I was given this by the prosecutor. I just want the, I don't understand the charges that are being brought against me.
Okay, so we'll just go to your trial date. Do you have your ID with you?
No, I don't. If I wanted to request a motions hearing, but at this time I do not have my motions, how would I go about that?
Any motions have to be entered 10 days prior to your trial.
Okay. Will I have 10 days prior to my trial date?
It'll be April 20th.
All right. Pretty sure she's going to make sure that it's okay with them because they know what I'm going to do. They know that I'm fighting. One ticket is $150. One ticket is $325. It's $475 they're trying to extort.
Yeah, April 20th.
And as far as me turning in my motions, I'll just bring them here?
You can file them with the clerk here.
Okay.
And we'll just submit it into the prosecutor's charge.
Okay. Let me guess, Tim, I have to sign these, correct? And if I don't really want to add my name to any adhesion contracts, how would that work?
You don't want to write your name?
Yeah, I don't want to.
I'll just write with you.
But I do understand the dates.
So you didn't want a signed plea?
I do not make pleas.
Okay. Did you want to fill out a request to record the hearing?
Yes, ma'am. Well, actually, no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to add my name to